I'm more concerned about defeating Angelina Ballerina than who wins the U.S. presidential election. I have voted for Trump, but realize that as long as Angelina remains in control, it isn't safe regardless of who wins the U.S. presidency. It does seem fairly certain that Angelina and Hillary are in bed together, whereas Angelina does not seem to have Trump. Regarding all the hullabaloo about FBI Director Comey, I have to tell you that I have a strong distrust of the media, and this seems like a good thing, but I guess we will know come Election Day and afterwards. I always suspect the media to be in cahoots with whoever is the Jesuit leader, and just don't trust everything I hear. I have already concluded that Hillary is corrupt based on her stand about Vladimir Putin and her obvious lies to anybody with a brain. Angelina appears to have created a populace who have no concerns about Hillary's lying and corruption, which indicates to me that Americans have become amoral. I believe that if the United States votes in Hillary, they will get the leader they deserve for not caring about her morals and only being obsessed with someone who seems to be on their side. The way I see it, that would be akin to voting for Satan over Jesus Christ. Angelina Ballerina, who is Satan's right-hand person, appears to be using brain control on the populace to make people just like her a person who has no morals and is proud of it. All I can say is if Americans vote for Hillary, who is an obvious liar, murderer, and Jesuit establishment politician, you should not need FBI Director Comey to help you make that decision. If you couldn't figure that out a long time ago, I suspect you have a heart problem, in that you are more concerned about your own selfish interests than in having a leader who cares about right and wrong. Don't give me this crap that you think Hillary cares about right and wrong. It's obvious to any objective observer that she does not care about right and wrong. She only cares about pandering to the rich and powerful, evil people who give her financial support. You know that, and all this acting like you don't know that reminds me of the day when you will have to face Jesus Christ at the judgment, and he asks you, "Why did you vote for Hillary Clinton?" Now grant you, if you're a victim of Angelina Ballerina's brain control, then Jesus will probably just laugh and say, when it's your turn to meet him at the judgment, "Oh, here's another Hillary supporter. Boy, did you get duped. I won't judge you for what Angelina did to you, but I sure wish she didn't get you. Here's the real Hillary here in heaven, and she's been crying her eyes out that her evil automaton won the U.S. presidential election because of you. The real Hillary's reputation has been tarnished forever because of you. She hates that automaton and wishes she could have dismantled her." Jesus would turn to the real Hillary in heaven and say, now, Hillary, don't be so upset. After all, Gail is the U.S. president in the end." "Yes, but, Hillary in heaven would cry, "but I support Gail, and my evil automaton hates her. Will you judge me for what my automaton has done?" "No, Hillary, you're safe," Jesus would smile. "But I'm afraid a lot of your voters will be losing some rewards that they could have gotten in heaven. And of course, some of them are just outright evil, like the automaton they voted into office." And Jesus would cry and drop a tear or two. They actually wanted the Hillary automaton to win because she was just like them. Evil, a liar, and totally absorbed with her own selfish interests. I'm afraid I will have to send them to hell for being part of Satan's conspiracy over the earth. Then you'd say, "But Trump is a criminal too." Now, if I judged you for everything you said but didn't do, which is what Angelina Ballerina's news media is doing to Trump, wouldn't that make you a criminal? "That isn't fair. I'm not rich like Trump." "Oh, so being rich automatically makes one a criminal?" "I didn't say that." "Well, I'll tell you this. Trump does have an ego problem, but he's not a murderer like Hillary. Regarding his rapes of women, he's a playboy who just acts out all the fantasies that you don't have the guts to act out. And because I judge by the heart, I will grant you that he's far from perfect, but he doesn't like killing people. I kind of like that. I have a real problem with this evil Hillary automaton's body count. Also, she's a first-class murderer. By the way, all liars are murderers in their hearts, and she is such a big liar that she makes Trump seem like Abraham Lincoln, old honest Abe. You'd rather have a murderer than a potty mouth? Silence. Well, I guess this sinful voter has nothing more to say. Sorry, no crowns for you. By the way, I have said things I would do that I didn't carry out. Does that make me, God, a criminal? Now, I've said my say, and I'm sure the Hillary supporters will say, but I'm a Democrat. Are you saying Democrats are going to be judged by God for voting for Hillary? I don't know. It might depend on whether you were deliberately stupid or just didn't care about right and wrong, and your ideology and your platform meant more to you than right and wrong. If you can't vote for Trump, then write in somebody on the ballot like Bernie Sanders that you can vote for. But for God's sake, don't vote for a criminal and a murderer just because you're a Democrat. Now that I've said this, I can go to bed in peace. I've done the best I could to prevent Angelina Ballerina's puppet, the murderer Hillary Clinton automaton, from taking office. So if she wins the election, I won't be judged for not warning you about it and doing my best to keep you in favor with God. You will be judged for voting for her, but it won't be my fault, and you can't say I didn't warn you. But if she wins, you can console yourself by saying that Trump could also be murdered and replaced with an automaton, and so you had to vote your ideology over your morality, right? That might work if you sincerely believe this, and you could be right. But then God would ask you, why did you vote for an obvious criminal over one who might be a criminal? Isn't that kind of like the reason they pardoned Barabbas and let me go to the cross instead? You remind me of those in the crowd who screamed, "Let Jesus die and let Barabbas go free!" They hated me so much because I exposed them as the frauds they were. The only difference between Trump and me is I was perfect, and he's obviously not perfect. Can you imagine how bad it would be for Trump if he was perfect like me and exposed the evil ones? I wonder what a cross would look like with Trump on it. Jesus pauses and stares at the Hillary Clinton voter. My, you like the idea. Hey, Jesus, sorry that I have such a potty mouth, Trump would say to Jesus. It's okay, Trump. At least you confessed it as sin and are trying to do better. I forgive you. But this Hillary Clinton voter, who is guilty of worse things than you in their heart, they can't seem to find any forgiveness in their heart for you. Even worse, they remind me so much of those who wanted me to go to the cross instead of Barabbas. So proud, just like Satan, their master. I'm a lot better than Trump, the Hillary voter would say. Let's take a look at your heart. My, you're a murderer. I never murdered anyone in my life. But you have so much hatred in your heart. The only reason you haven't murdered is because you couldn't. But I can't find any forgiveness in your heart. You just think you're better than everyone else. You are guilty of the same crime as those in the crowd who wanted Barabbas to go free instead of me. You got a magnifying glass on everybody else's heart, but see yourself as a guardian angel. You social justice warriors are some of the worst murderers on the planet. All I see is murder. Don't forget, I judge by the heart. I've had enough of you, Jesus. You're a fake. You're not real. Jesus stoops down and puts some clay over their eyes and rubs it into their eyeballs. Now you're as blind in your eyes as you are in your heart. Another Hillary Clinton supporter would say, Hey, Jesus, I voted for Hillary, and I really believed her, that she was innocent, and that the Republicans conspired against her. Yeah, another Angelina Ballerina brain control victim. Hillary's been doing a lot of crying. You have made the real Hillary so sad. So do I lose my crowns too? No, you don't. But I sure wish I could make the real Hillary stop crying. Oh, here comes another Angelina Ballerina brain control victim. I'm afraid my Hillary is going to go on a crying jag. Jesus, the real Hillary would say, why did you let the Jesuits murder me and replace me with that horrible automaton? You're unfair. I know, Jesus would say. But Hillary, I can't stop Satan completely until the final battle. I know it's hard to understand. So sorry about this. But at least Gail was the U.S. president when it happened, and at least I won't judge you for what your evil automaton has done. By the way, this is all fiction, and Jesus has not been talking to me lately. But I made this up and I thought it was fun. Not sure if the real Jesus would approve, but I think it might make him smile. I'm the King David woman, or the woman after God's own heart. Jesus seems to be staying out of this election in his conversations with me, though he did say that Satan has created a Donald Trump automaton about a year ago or so. Fortunately, it appears that the real Donald Trump has, for the most part, been running his own ship. Sadly, the real Hillary is now in heaven, I presume, and probably horrified over what her evil automaton is doing to her reputation. Granted, the real Hillary had to deal with her evil clone while alive, but she did try to overcome her evil clone. Now that she's dead, anybody who votes for Hillary is voting for an obvious criminal. And the worst part about it is I think they know it. I really wonder how God will deal with these voters.